It was very warm, and what I found gratifying is the audience had a lot of opinion and a lot of questions, you know, because I think what's out there is there's a real appetite for people to know what went on at News of the World and News International. And they also want to be confident that politicians are dealing with the issue. And so there were a lot of detailed questions, a lot of people who'd obviously been glued to the Leveson inquiry, which I have. But I'm not surprised that was the view, because that's what people read in the papers. That is what the PR people for Rupert Murdoch's News International wanted you to believe. They wanted you to believe it was just about celebrity tittle-tattle. But I thought the moment would come when public opinion would be enraged. I didn't know it would be over the Dowlers. My own view is I thought it would be actually over Soham, because I had a strong belief that Glenn Mulcair, the convicted phone hacking private investigator, had targeted at least one of the parents of the children that were killed at Soham. That's still not been confirmed. So I wasn't surprised. But I suspect that Rupert Murdoch will not have given his last apology to the parents of murdered children, and that's why I think the public are so determined to see politicians act in the public interest now. It's relief, I would say. You know, there was a time where it was like sort of shouting into a vacuum. There was a very tiny number of people who felt very passionately about this. We got very close. There was a couple of lawyers, Nick Davis of The Guardian, obviously, one or two other MPs, but that was about the extent of the interest that people took in it. So it's just a relief now that the story is out there, the cover-up cannot be made, and we've now just got to go through the process of thoroughly dissecting what went on by who. Well, for me, you know, what I've tried not to do, and it's very hard when you're a sort of political politician, but I've tried not to make this about each of the political parties sort of trying to get one up on each other. You know, all three party leaders agreed that the B-Sky B bid should be dropped. They all supported the Leveson inquiry, and so what I would hope we could do in Westminster is keep the consensus around that when Lord Leveson actually reports. And you know, if he does make demands on Parliament to legislate, then I would hope that we can do that together. It's going to be quite a tall order. There's a lot of pressures in the system, and it's obviously harder for a sort of incumbent government to bear down on a big media organisation like News International. And they're probably going to get the other newspaper groups putting pressure on them as well. But you know, if they can keep that consensus, then hopefully we'll get the reforms that are required. Yeah.
Don't hack phones.
Don't hack phones is probably, they probably teach you that on day one on the course now. But in all seriousness, one of the things I hope that can come out of this is how we teach ethics in journalism schools. I think it's going to be really important. And this might be too much to ask of tabloid journalists, but there used to be an NUJ code of conduct. And that could be the kind of journalist's equivalent of the doctor's Hippocratic Oath. And if there are certain things that you don't do, like don't break the law unless you get your editor to apply a public interest test to that decision, then I think that will stop institutional failure, which is what went on at News International. So, don't lose your scepticism of politicians. Be strong, be determined, but stick to the ethical code.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.